What is good, guys? Welcome to the channel. It is your boy King GDB. We're gonna react to xQc versus Andrew Tate, guys. This is my first video on this channel of this type, so we're basically just gonna jump right in, break this down, see who has the stronger worldview or the more superior worldview, you know. And again, it all comes down to preference and opinions. But at the end of the day, one worldview leaves you feeling a lot better about yourself as a person, and then the other one leaves you kind of scrambling and trying to keep things in order even though you can't, and leaves you in a perpetual state of cope. But anyway, we'll see which one that is, and obviously my worldview aligns with one of these individuals or more towards one of these individuals than the other, and I guess we'll find that out as we go. And from what I've just said, you can probably guess what my worldview is. So if you know what it is, put it down in the comments below, and then let's see if you are right. But yeah, without any further ado, let's jump right into this video. Let's go.
What else about me do you find alarming?
No, I'm just saying it's alarming. That's it.
Okay, what else about my views or things you've heard me say or my attitudes or my life approach?
And just to reiterate, this video is basically about girls can go to clubs. If
My
they
girl
can go to
can't
clubs.
out. That's fucking alarming as shit.
My girl can't go out?
Yeah.
Okay,
Alarming.
Let's discuss this.
Fair enough.
That's it.
All right, cool. So I take my girlfriends out all the time, right?
Cool.
But if my girl were
bro.
to say, I want to go out with 7 other girls to the club, in my personal experience, I'd be unhappy for her to do that because I've been the man in the club that those 7 girls turn up to and end up on his table, and I know what happens. I've lived a very, very long life. I know how that is.
Yeah,
Now-
X.
Now,
Feeling
I
himself.
think that, and I've discussed this already before. I think I discussed this yesterday with Dave Portnoy, which he got upset about. I discussed that if I'm going to be in a relationship,
His
I'm gonna have
mannerisms
responsibility,
are something, aren't they?
which I want to
xQc.
have because it's my masculine.
What a
parent.
guy, man.
I should also have a degree of authority that comes with that responsibility. If I'm responsible for her safety, for example, but she refuses to obey me when I say don't walk home in the middle of the night, then how can I truly be responsible? Responsibility and authority are linked. I'm responsible for her because I'm her man, and I take the best care of her. I might know things she doesn't know. She might be 19 years old and think going to the club's all fine. I'm 35. I've been around. I've seen what happens in clubs. No, you don't need to go there. I'm responsible for you. I take care of you.
Makes
And
sense.
by extension, I have authority to say to you, you're not going to that nightclub. That doesn't make me crazy. It doesn't make me insecure. It doesn't make me weak. She can always say, I'm going to go anyway, and that's
Yeah.
fine, and then we can break up. But in my scenario, any woman I'm serious about is going to obey me, and I'm not going to come along with some crazy, maybe people will call it crazy. I'm not going to make her do anything wrong. She ain't going to take drugs. She's going to go to the gym. She's going to eat right. She's going to be learning.
Sounds like a
shit,
good deal.
and
If I was
she
a
ain't gonna
girl,
be in the
I would
clubs
take
sniffing and
it.
Drinking. Now that
Just not going to the club. That's the only thing I don't have to do. Not go to the clubs without a man. Sounds like a good deal. Why not? Take it.
makes me a bad person, then so be it. No problem. But I get plenty of girls who sign up to that all day long.
I would
without
imagine.
Problems. And any man who sits there and goes, I'm not insecure, I'll send my girl to the club. Send her
Okay.
to my table, G. Send her to my table. No problem. Send her.
Fair enough. Okay.
We'll talk about insecurity when she's sucking dick.
Right, this man.
Then, according to
You've
your
been
mindset
different.
and how you see things, then, and your high levels of security, apparently, right?
High
If
levels
your
of
girl
security.
was to go to the club, right?
X.
And I was at the club. You're scared that I will bring your girl home.
All right.
That's it.
It's not about scared because I don't live in fear.
Okay, so I see what I see where this is going, and we know where this is going. So basically, X is of the mind that having constraints on your girlfriend means you are inevitably fearful of what would happen if you do not have those constraints in place. It's a fair argument. You can make that argument. But then again, I would also counter with the fact that if you allow your girlfriend to do anything and everything, then you are fearful because you don't want to lose her by putting in boundaries where you retain respect. But anyway, I digress.
Well, I mean, that's fear.
No, it's not fear. What
Okay.
it is,
Okay. What is the outcome that you do not want of her going to the club?
I'll explain.
Both cannot be fearful. It's just people's standards of what they would tolerate in terms of disrespect. Like, it's not being afraid of something. It's about, you're disrespecting me as a person. You're disrespecting me. This is what I want for my life. This is what my life want. This is the vision I have for my life. This is what it looks like. And if you cannot fit perfectly in this vision, then I don't want you. Simple as. And if a girl accepts those terms and conditions, then it's okay. If she doesn't, then they break up. It's okay. So that's not fearful. He's willing to lose the girl with his boundaries. And he stated that, then we break up. He's not trying to cling on to someone because, again, replaceable. He has abundance.
I'm a territorial.
Guys coming over and bringing her home. You, by fear, you are scared of her going home with another guy. That is a move that is literally fueled by fear. You are
That's an interesting viewpoint, and I know you think that that's relevant, and I know you think you've.
I would say more it's a respect thing. It's not more of a fear thing. It is a, why would you even need to want to go there if you love me and you adore me as your man? What's the need for you to be out in the clubs to do what? To dance and shake your ass? You can do that in the house. You can easily do that in the house. You can put some music on, me and you can dance, you can shake your ass. You're winning. Okay. You want to go out with the girls? Go to a house party with the girls. Just the girls. Dance, shake your ass. Cool. You win. You still have a good time. The fact that you need to go to the club in of itself, that is a problem. It's either that you're still that type of person who wants to be in the clubs, and that means you belong to the streets, or you're just immature. One of the two. And then you just cut off because of those two anyway. So
Made a good point, but I'm about to dissect it and show you why.
Go ahead.
I'm a territorial individual. And I think that being a man, one of the best things about being a man is being territorial, being able to say, that is mine. That's the whole point of it. So let's use an analogy. And please, when I make this analogy, I don't want you to try and get caught up in the analogy because I'm about to compare a woman to a car.
People do.
Do not say
people do get caught up in these analogies a lot.
you're comparing women to cars. That's low IQ. This is just an analogy. If I go outside, right?
Wait. I like how I said that's low IQ. Because if you really think about it, it is low IQ. Because if you cannot take the message away or the principle of the message away from the analogy, then by definition you are low IQ. Like, it doesn't need to be some extravagant, oh, you compare women to objects. No, he is comparing the object of a car and having that as yours to the experience of having a partner who chooses to be yours. You see what I'm saying? So the girl chooses to be yours, but the car, obviously, you get and is yours. So at the end of the day, they are both, in some sense, yours. Hence the energy. Where did that come from? Hence the analogy applies. So in this case, the girl chooses to be yours. And again, if she wants to act outside of the frameworks of what you have set, she's free to go. There is no constraint. She's free to come. She's free to go. So I don't get why people get lost in the analogy. Like, it's a bit mad.
Or let's say I have a Lamborghini. Now, I have many cars, but let's say I take my Lamborghini. Would I park it in a high crime area? Even if the locks are fantastic, even if my woman is loyal and completely and utterly in love with me, and I know there's 0% chance any man could ever take her home because she's with the top G, which is the case. Even if I know the locks on my car,
This guy.
it has bulletproof glass, it's locked, you can't break into it. Will I park my Lambo in an area where people are going to try and steal it?
No.
I won't, because that is irresponsible. So the fact is, I don't care if men try and come up to my chick because no one can steal my chick because I am me. The fact is, it's irresponsible for me to put her in a scenario where people will attempt it. If I walk out to the car park and someone's trying to break into my car, even if the locks to my car are secure, I will still decimate said individual for attempting to steal my property. That's what it's about. It's about territorialism. It's not about being fearful the girl's going to run off with someone else. There's nowhere to go from me but down.
See, that is true. It is not about being fearful because, again, like, the fact that you are setting these boundaries means you're not afraid to lose the girl because if she doesn't want to constrain to those boundaries, she can leave. But then again, X is arguing that it's the fact that you have to put these boundaries on, then you're fearful. But then again, all relationships are boundaries, whether agreed upon or not. Just by the mere fact of calling it a relationship, you have then set boundaries that on the surface level, you are monogamous to a degree to that person. Whether you try to amend those, and say, look, we're open relationship, I'm open on my end, you're not open on your end, or whatever it is you come to the conclusion of, there is always boundaries in a relationship. And to act like you can just have relationships without any boundaries is stupid and asinine. It makes no sense whatsoever. You have to have boundaries in a relationship, and Andrew just has more than the average person. And that's okay.
It's not about that. It's about the fact that it's irresponsible for me to put her in that scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, the argument would be good. If
Would
I were
be.
you, I'm making that argument. I could rationalize the argument you just did if most of the girls that I dated or that I was with had the IQ of somebody who cannot move, think, or do anything.
IQ, somebody kind of move, think, or anything. This is sign language. Guys, remember when Kevin Samuel says shame, insults, guilt, and need to be right? Shaming the fact that he used the car analogy by saying, oh, the girls are cars, they're still like cars, they have no IQ, they're not intelligent. Like, this is just shame, trying to use shaming language, insults. Like, it's just, bro, this is feminine behavior, for lack of a better word.
And it just stuck on the side of the fucking curb. So yeah, I guess maybe you would have this experience if Moses did were 0 IQ, brain frozen.
0
yeah,
IQ.
But it doesn't make sense in the real world.
Where is he grasping this 0 IQ that a woman who would want to submit to their husband and be like, or submit to a boyfriend and say, look, I respect my boyfriend and, you know, I listen to him and I admire him and he knows a lot about the world and I want to follow what he says. How does that make them low IQ? It makes no sense to me.
Because
The fact that, again, analogy, guys, don't get wrapped up into it. Don't be low IQ, as Andrew said. If you have a child and you instill the knowledge of the world into this child, you teach them the things, you teach them right and wrong, you give them the blueprint to life, and they actually become successful from using that blueprint, they will look up to you naturally and they want to listen to you more. It doesn't mean they have low IQ because they're listening to you. It makes no sense.
you don't park your fucking girl on the curb.
Everything we do, everything we learn is from listening to other people. So for him to come here and say, oh, well, the parked Lambos because they do what you say and it's just sign language. It doesn't make any sense because everything we learn from other people. Everything we do because we've seen it from someone else. We are learning creatures. We take things that we value, we mimic, and we make them part of us. That's what we do. If it has a higher likelihood to make our lives better and increase our survivability and also increase the quality of that life, we adopt those things and we implement them in our lives. That's what people do.
Curb at the club. They move, they talk, they do shit. It's not a fucking, it's not the danger.
No one ever said that. This guy is moving mad.
Danger of other guys doing shit, right? Because they can still think. And the loss of potential.
But he's right on the danger part. You know, obviously they can think, they can do what they need to do. You know, the danger part. But you know, there is a small element of danger. And again, them not going to the club just eliminates that completely. So, and again, there's not much fulfillment you're getting in a club. Like, you're just shaking your ass and dancing to music. Like, but you can do that anywhere, in the house, at home, on the beach. It's cool. You don't need to. Anyway, I don't know. This guy.
Potential that one guy out of a million will do some crazy shit.
X really wants adept in clubs. He really wants her in those clubs, dancing, having a good time.
And is going to forcibly bring her home, right? That smartness is far outweighed by the fun and enjoyment and fulfillment that they get by the club in the first place.
That's interesting.
Fun and enjoyment and fulfillment. What fulfillment do you get from a club apart from getting drunk, trying to get some sex? There is no fun and fulfillment, and girls go there because they want some attention. Like, there is no fun, joy. The only fun they're getting is the attention from other people. And the fact that they want the attention from the other people means you yourself are not enough to satiate them in that section of attention. They value other people's attention more than they value your attention. They want to be out there. Again, like, you can make an argument for the other side as easy as you can make an argument, the argument xQc is making. Like, it's a bit mad. Like, it's just people are different. They make certain rules and regulations for our relationships. We all have boundaries. Andrew's just more than others.
Also have to understand, because we are different individuals living very different lives.
But again, the more boundaries you have, the less risks you take, and the less risks you take, the more the intended outcome you want from setting those boundaries is likely achieved. If someone follows all your boundaries, then the favorable outcome you want is likely achieved. But if you set no boundaries, the likely outcome you want, the probability of that coming true is a bit mad. You know, there's more variability in those parameters.
And I'm not going to sit here and comment on your relationships because I don't understand them, because I don't know them.
True.
But you have to understand that I am at a status of life where any woman who gets with me.
He is getting cucked That's his relationships. He's getting cooked. He has to be. He has to be. A guy like this who says my girl can do anything and anything, willy-nilly, I don't care. You know, she's free. She's getting fulfilled out there. So what if she said, I want fulfillment from sucking a dick? I'm guessing he would say no. So it's just about, anyway, it's mad.
Understand
that this goes over this man's head.
With a man of my caliber, there are certain sacrifices which must be made.
100%.
You do not get to be with a kickboxing world champion, multi-millionaire, whose entire life is completely on track, and live a life of spoiled princess, and then also say to that man, I go to the club whenever the fuck I want. You might be able to say that to some other men, but you can't say it to me. So, and I want to say something to you that you may not yet understand once again, because you are intelligent, but you're not yet wise, because you are young. Women are malleable.
Ooh, let me just, before he hits this point, let me just touch on what he said. He basically said you can't be with a man of this stature and still demand to go to the club. Like that, a man who has achieved so much, I still demand to go to the club. Again, he is at the pinnacle of achievement in terms of male success. He's at the very top, tippity top, you know, with all those rich people. He's up there. So let me use an analogy. Like for people who would want to go to prestigious colleges, Yale, Harvard, in England, Oxford, Cambridge. For you to go to those colleges, those universities, you have to sacrifice certain things. When your friends are out there in the clubs, you are at home studying, because you know, for you to get to Cambridge, you need certain things, and those certain things cannot be attained in the club. So for you to earn the respect of Cambridge and Oxford, you must study, attain the knowledge you need to ace that interview and be smart enough to mingle among the best in the business, in the scholarly field. You have to do that. So like a girl must sacrifice going to the club to be with a high value man like Andrew Tate. Premier scholars might sacrifice going out to be the best in the field and to attend the best colleges and universities. It's that simple. So to act like this is a foreign concept is, again, asinine. It's stupid.
I say they're malleable. People think that women are these individualistic, unique creatures, and they are to a degree, but they are heavily molded by the man they're with. You'll notice if a woman gets with a man and she loves him, she likes the same music he likes, the same politics.
Anybody's in that regard. Everybody's malleable in that regard with the people that they're with, people that are around.
Yes, everyone is malleable. Yes, 100%. But in this say the fact that he just said women are malleable triggered X. Like everyone's malleable. Everyone. He did not say that men are not malleable too. He just, in this case, he was just talking about women. But anyway, we progress.
People are the fucking result of what's around them. That's just
100%.
So we're malleable. A woman which may say to you, I'm a unique, special snowflake, I do whatever the fuck I want.
100%.
In my presence, she wouldn't say that. Now, because women are a reflection of their man. It's not hard to get a woman who sits there and says, you know.
Bro was looking up thinking like, wait a minute. Is this making sense? It's making sense, but it's these concepts, again, X does not strike me like the person who has attended a lot of parties, who has mingled a lot with women and has really intersected with a lot of women, because if he has, he would not really be so flabbergasted by Andrew's takes.
You know what? I don't go to the club without my man because I adore my man. If the man is worthy of such adoration.
100%.
If the woman's sitting there going, well, I'm with him, but he doesn't tell me what to do. That's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are all the same. It's all about the man they're with. I have no trouble and no arguments in my life telling women they don't go to the club by themselves. Zero. It's not a conversation that even ever appears ever because I am me. So for you to sit here and...
That is 100%. If a girl really loves you and she's really into you, and again, I have experienced this. I am experiencing this right now. If a girl really loves you and she respects you, she doesn't care about going to the club. Even if her girlfriends are like, let's go to the club and da-da-da-da. She's like, I'd rather be with my man. There are girls out there like this who want to do this, who do not care for the club, who don't want, when their man becomes everything to them. Their man becomes the person they like, the person they want to hang out with. There are girls out here like this. And that's perfectly okay. So for X to act like this is some foreign concept that girls are like being oppressed because he's saying, I don't want them to go to the club. He don't even have to ask them to not go to the club because they don't even want to go to the club. They want to be with him. They want to spend time with him. They want to be in his presence.
describe scenarios, that's fine. And you're saying that my women are low IQ. I would counter that by saying if I was with the same women you were with, they'd behave better for me than they would for you. And that's because of my status and my wisdom and my individuality that you
Facts. And this is a great thing. Like, I'm guessing a lot of people who've been to school and seen how cliques interact, how again it's about the person, because two people can say the same thing and it can be received totally differently by the person receiving him. The classic case is ugly guys versus good-looking guys. An ugly guy and a good-looking guy can say the same exact thing to a girl. Be it risque, the girl will take it very well from the good-looking guy, but will completely be disgusted by the ugly guy attempting to make a move. Yeah. She will check him, put him back in his place, because he is what? Beta in her mind.
You treat and pay for them like they're Lambos that are parked at the curb. Of course they're going to be like this if you want to go down that argument. So yeah, I guess once more I have to concede the point because you're right. I guess you dated.
Reluctantly conceded the point. Reluctantly, just have some grace. Again, if you lost, have some grace. There's no need for all this emotionality and all this, sign language. It's a bit mad.
Frozen Lambos parked at the curb.
It's not frozen Lambos.
See, reluctantly conceding the point and throwing some shame. This is female tactics.
That is what you compared. That is your example. You compared the behavior.
But he said, "Don't be low IQ about this." And guess what? xQc is doing. He's being low IQ about this. Like, it's so interesting how all this stuff has been said, and it just goes over this man's head like he didn't hear it.
And the potentials of her being stolen to a park.
Exactly.
Therefore, I have to use that analogy when talking about the girls that you are dating. And you are right. I'm sorry. It's not an insult. You made this precedent. I have to use it.
You made this precedent.
I will take any woman I could date. Any woman I don't know.
XQ is not right. He told him, don't be low IQ. It's just an analogy. Don't make it like you have to think outside the box. And clearly these guys are stuck in the matrix, apparently.
Your girlfriends are. I don't have a clue. But any woman you've ever dated, if I was with her, she wouldn't be going to the club without me. That's the bottom line. That's because who I am.
100%.
The woman's paradigm, the idea that the female is going to come along and demand to only go club with the girls, etc., etc.
Yeah.
That is heavily dependent on the man she is with.
So what makes you above her then? The money, the status, the top G? What is the label or the prerequisite that makes you above her?
This whole thing about above, it's not about being above. It's about having the boundaries set for you yourself as a person. It's not about being above someone else. If someone doesn't accept your boundaries, it's not like you're not above them intrinsically. We both have equal value as human beings. But it's not about being above someone. It's about your values and standards for life as a person and your vision for your life. If that person cannot satisfy that vision for your life, then they don't belong in your life. They can leave. It's fine. But if they're willing to do and live in a way which you see your life going, and they're like, oh, I fit in perfectly in that life, I'll just insert myself there and I can, follow along, then that's perfect. That's what they want. Everyone wins. It's a win-win.
It's not about being above. It's about her.
Yes, it is.
He's acting like it's by force. It's not by force. It's by choice.
It's about her respecting me.
Therefore, you can't go to the club either. You don't go to the club then.
That's bull.
Again, it's about the parameters you set. If you set the parameters, I go to the club, you don't. And she accepts. She accepts. If she sets the parameters, you stay home and I go to the club all the time, and you accept, then those are the parameters. And if you don't like them, you leave. It's
bullshit. I go to the club whatever the fuck I want.
It's not rocket science.
Okay, then what makes her unable to go to the club if you can't go to the club?
It's just his set rules of how he wants to live his life. And that's perfectly understandable. It's fine. Who cares?
I am responsible for her.
This is like I was raised in Africa, and this concept is just, it's not even something people would have to stress and mentally think about. The gymnastics would not have to happen the way they're happening in xQc's mind. He's actually having to go through mental gymnastics to try and justify not letting his girl go out to the club. Like, some people just don't want to, and again, like he says, boundaries for his life, and it is what it is.
And I have authority. Why are you responsible? What makes you responsible?
Oh my gosh.
I'm responsible for her because I am more competent as an individual. Now,
how do you know that? All the girls. And there's no girl out there that could be above you. You're above everybody else.
Well, let's because I know you're gonna try and go down the sexist argument. Let's reverse it.
Well, I mean,
he's reaching here. He's reaching for every little thing.
This conversation since the beginning. I gave you the initial
it's okay,
argument or point, and you are driving yourself there
Cool.
And so you are drawing a circle around it. I didn't do shit.
All right.
I
Cool.
said, what makes you above her? And you're not giving me an answer.
It's not about being.
It's not about being above. It's about having responsibility for.
So why can't you have responsibility?
Okay, because you can't share responsibility because nothing in life is 50-50. There's always
100%.
49%, 51%.
100%.
Why you?
Me because I'm me. This is the exact point.
Oh, what answer is xQc looking for? Like, this is how I see my relationships. This is how my relationships to be, and this is what I expect from my relationships. That's it. What answer does this man want? What does he want him to say? Like, honestly, what does he? It's like he wants him to say a specific thing, which is not true. Like, bro, it's accept the answer given and move on.
Now let's reverse it, which I've been trying to do for the last 30 seconds. There are women out there.
He's struggling, bro. X is struggling.
To tell him, stop playing video games, stop smoking weed, go to the gym, get your diet in order. Why don't you ever work? Why don't you got any money? There are millions of relationships out there. In said scenario, she has responsibility because she's his mother and she tells him what to do. And she has authority. She can tell him not to do shit because she's the fucking boss.
Yes.
That is happened. It's not about a sex thing. It's about human dynamics. And every relationship
it's
someone's
true.
in charge, and I'm in charge of my relationship.
It is true.
I find it irresponsible of me to put her in.
Whether it be the matriarchy or the patriarchy, someone has to be in charge. And the majority of history has been the patriarchy, so we move.
A scenario where something could happen to her.
But
Whether carry on.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just think what a good point was. I can interject. Since you're making that point, right? The problem with these statements is that you say girls. You always say girls or my girls, right? Intending that it's all of them. What about some girl, right? Who, right now, hypothetically, is a multi-trillionaire, right? And is in your kitchen right now, and she comes over right now. The door opens behind you, right behind you right now. And you
say,
get the fuck off the computer, drinking his bullshit with this.
Again, this is a nonsensical hypothetical because that would not happen. Because I would not be in a relationship. Well, I'm guessing he would not also be in a relationship where a woman is above him like that, in the sense that she is a leader. Like, that's what a relationship he wants to be in. So he would excuse himself out of that relationship. Why would he stay in a relationship where he is not in a position where he wants to be? It makes no sense. What the fuck?
Stupid cigar, talking to that fucking double on your computer, right? That could happen, right?
It could never happen.
No, it can't happen. Why not?
It can't.
Because that is not a path I would take. That is not a life goal I have in mind, to have a woman control my life and be my mummy and mother me about. That's not something I want. So if that's not something I want, why would I sit there and tolerate? I do what I want. That's what Tate is saying.
Can't happen, and I'll tell you why.
not?
I'll tell you why. Because you said some girl being a multi-trillionaire. There's plenty of women in the world who may have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that when you look at life, you have to look at life in the different paradigms. There's many different lenses you look at life through. And when you look at life from a societal perspective, yes, women are equal to men, and they should be, fine. But when you look at women from an animalistic perspective, because we are basically animals, they are not equal to us physically. When it comes to something like personal safety, which a club involves a lot of, they can get spiked, a man can try on with them and lose his temper, they can get attacked, whatever can happen. When it comes to physical protection, that is a man's realm. You could be a UFC world champion, female, whatever. I'm too big and I'm too strong. I'll still beat him. So there's no female alive who's going to come into a room and tell me when it comes to things like personal protection, responsibility for her own personal safety, etc., trump my views. That's not true. I'm a man, I have certain domains in which I rule.
Okay, then in this line of argument with the things that you just said, I'm trying to go one by one. I'm being selective about how I'm doing this. Okay?
Let's see.
What you're saying, since you brought up the fact that you can get spiked,
He's on the ropes.
is that you, Andrew, if you go at the club alone, because the girl is staying at home, she has to stay home, she's boxed in. You go to the club because you're such a fucking warrior, and you get spiked heavier than your drink, you drink it, you will not go unconscious because you're such a fucking lion, aren't you?
It's not about...
Where is this even coming from? Like, this is just so far removed from what was being discussed. I don't know. This guy, he's really reaching. He wants to win, and it's okay. When you're backed into a corner, you have to fight, and he's fighting. I'll give him that. He's fighting. He's got to do what he's got to do, and you can't hate him for that. He's got to do what he's got to do. This is it. My back's against the wall. Help me! Help me! If you know the Kevin Hart clip, you know what I mean.
It's about the fact that if the woman was with me in the club, or if the woman couldn't protect me, that's not the woman's domain. It's down to me and my team to protect me. The female has absolutely no say when it comes to things like personal safety. She has
so she can't have a team around her. She can't.
A team of chicks? A team of chicks?
Of
Or you
anybody.
want to send your girl to the club with
What? Did I say chicks? Did I say chicks?
a team of dudes? Cool. You want to send your girl to the club with a bunch of dudes? Cool. Your prerogative. Enjoy. Hope you have a nice, long relationship.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, my relationship will be long and fulfilling.
What's long and fulfilling? This guy really wants the fulfilling stuff, doesn't he?
I can't say the same to when you treat people like this. I mean,
It's not about treating people like this. It's people who want to sign up to be treated like that. It's not a what? It makes no sense. No person in their right mind will sign up to get, when they know this is what I expect, to sign up and be like, okay, I'll sign up, and then be like, I can't believe I'm getting oppressed. No, you signed up. You're free to leave at any time. This is a revolving door. You can come in and get the fuck out. It's not by force. He's acting, xQc trying to make it seem it's like it's by force when it's not by force. The girl can come. She can see, okay, do I like the rules and the parameters of which this person wants to live their life? No, I don't. Okay, bye, I'm gone. They move on with their lives. Other girls will come in and be like, do I like the rules and parameters of which this man lives his life and he wants me as his partner to live my life? I like it. Cool. I'll stay and do what needs to be done. Simple. And xQc can find a girl who wants to go out all the time, and he can let her do that, and she will be fulfilled in the club. And he wins. And he can, keep his head in the sand and think she's not doing anything. And that's fine. He wins. If that makes him feel secure in himself, that he's allowing her to run around like a headless chicken, then fair enough. That makes him feel secure. And again, don't get carried away with the headless chicken thing.
People like saying that you don't go to the club without me, we'll go together. Oh, I'm the worst
Yeah,
in
like,
the world.
you never said they don't go to the club.
Take your girl to the
It's a bit
VIP
mad.
table with you. Oh, don't do that, Andrew, you misogynist. Send her out there with all those other dudes.
Dirty bugger, Andrew, you see, isn't he?
Professional fights, 4-time kickboxing world champion. How about this? I'll protect you.
There's a dusty bloke.
Bro, you can be the biggest lion out there. You can be the most Chad-like bald guy out there. Okay, if your drink gets spiked, you're dropping.
Yeah. He is.
That's not the point I'm making.
Yeah,
the point
but
I'm making is about the
it makes no
respect
sense.
she will have for me for protecting her and my responsibility.
It's about
over
respect.
her, the authority that comes with it. It'll be about the fact that I don't want my woman in the club without me. I think it's disrespectful, and I don't think that.
Again, even if you don't care about your girl going to the club, you setting boundaries allows you to know if the girl truly loves you. If you set boundaries and the girl comes into your life and breaks those boundaries, even if you don't care what those boundaries entail, i.e. going to the club, even if you don't care if she goes to the club and has a good time, you don't care, she's for you and always for you. But if you set boundaries and the girl's not willing to abide those boundaries, then she really doesn't care about you. She doesn't care. She's like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. So even by you not caring for the fact that she can go to the club and have fun and, be fulfilled, as xQc says, which is cope. No fulfillment in the club. Makes no sense. Like, everyone's trying to get laid, and the people who are not trying to get laid are just trying to, see something, smell something, feel something, hoping, coping.
Any woman who truly loves a man even wants to do that.
Yeah, they don't.
Women test boundaries as they should. And I'm about to make another comparison.
Fun fact, my girl used to... she obviously would go out sometimes before she met me. But now she's met me, she never goes out. Never. Ever. Doesn't want to. Unless I go out with her. If I'm not going out, she's not going out. She doesn't want to. It's not. I don't have to say anything. I don't say, oh, babe, you can't go out. I don't. Because to be honest, I don't. Me personally, those are Andrew Tate's guidelines. Me personally, if she wants to go out, if she lets me know, and I approve, she can. I don't really care. It's not that deep. But for this guy, it just seems like it's a bit too much for xQc to handle.
I'm about to make another comparison that you can.
He can't fathom a world in which you set boundaries for the mere fact of retaining respect in the relationship and not allowing people to run around making you look stupid.
Yeah.
Use my analogies against me. You said
I have nothing. I have no other material.
No. Other material.
Approach me. I go
xQc is
1-to-1,
funny.
going into
No wonder it's
specifics.
popular, man.
What
This
else
guy's
is there
hilarious.
than the things that you're
He's a funny
feeding me
dude.
that I can use? Am I
I ain't
supposed
gonna
to
cap.
fucking
He's
guilt
entertaining.
with some shit?
Some
What to do?
shit.
I have to.
Yeah.
Completely. So I compared women to cars.
Get
So
paid.
I
Get
did
your
that.
bag,
I'm
xQc.
about
Get
to
your
compare women
bag,
to
son.
children.
Get
Oh
your
no, I'm
bag.
really bad.
Get your
So
bag.
let's do the same thing, right? So when you have a child, let's say you have a 6 or 7 year old kid, they push the boundaries. They try and see what they get away
100%.
with until
Girls do the
you
same
come and
thing.
say, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. If you leave a child completely unchecked, they're going to do a bunch of crazy.
And this is the thing. This is the thing that guys like xQc do not do. If a girl does something they don't like, they'll sweep it under the rug and be like, you know what, it's cool. I'm secure. I don't need to set boundaries and react. But the thing is, if you let someone get away with something once, they'll keep doing it and keep doing it. And if they've done it enough times to where it's become like a regular thing, and then you want to interject, then it seems like, oh, you never had a problem before. Now, why do you have a problem? But if you do something you don't like the first time and you check it instantly, then they know, okay, these are waters I do not tread. And they try to do it again, and you check it instantly, then they know, okay, these are really waters I should not tread. Then they know these are boundaries. For him to sit there and say, oh, they can do what they want and it's okay and I'll be okay, is cope. Because they will do stuff you don't like. They will go out and be out later than you like. And then you have to swallow that because you've been letting them go out all this time. It's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. It's not. It seems like a life of stress. Instead of just saying to your girl, don't go out. These are my rules. I don't like my girls going out. If you want to go out, I'm not the guy for you. Simple.
Right? There has to be a point they come up against the wall where the parents say, no, I'm older than you. I'm more responsible than you. I'm wiser than you. I know things you don't know. Do not stick your fingers in the plug socket. That's part of being an adult. It's part of being a parent. It's the same thing as being a man for a woman.
True.
If you're a man with a woman, you're likely older.
And again, no woman wants, again, they either want to date an equal or a superior. Most women do not want to date someone below them. They want to date someone earning more money than them, someone who's taller than them, someone who's stronger than them. And this is basic, intrinsic, natural. This is biology. I should know. I studied it at university. I have a degree in biological sciences, and I have a master's in molecular medicine. So if anyone knows this shit, it is me. I know it is me. I'm the guy. If you wanna know, ask me. I'll give you my LinkedIn. You can see my degrees. You can see my masters. You can see them all. Okay? If you really want to know. But I know this. This is intrinsic in human nature. And I studied a bit of psychology, but no degrees in psychology. But anyway, I've been studying psychology for a long time because I'm very interested. But we digress. But it's something I do as a hobby, not as a, profession.
A lot older, so you're wiser by default. You're probably, if you're a successful man, more successful than her. You've seen a lot of things. You've probably seen more violence than she has.
100%.
Et cetera. You're very, very...
And most women want a man who has something to teach them. So a man who's in a more senior position. A man who has lived a little, who's got stories to tell, who has something about them, experiences to share. A man who is knowledgeable in realms that they want to, that they care about. Or a man who's knowledgeable in a majority of realms so they can really feel secure with this person. No, this person can get me from point A to point B and I'll be okay and I can trust this person. That's what they want. A man that can say, babe, I want to do this. And the man says, I got you. I know how to make it happen. We're making it happen. And then don't have to worry about it. Women really want to say, they want a man who will do things and apply himself so they can rest and take it easy. That's what they want. No more, no less.
Qualified to come along and say...
Why do you intend that you're probably more successful than she is?
And then there's the boss babes who want to be boss babes. And that's okay too. They can be boss babes.
Because you're likely older. I mean, I don't know. There's not many 18-year-old girls who are going to be more successful than a 35-year-old man. Maybe.
True.
But
Why are you dating somebody younger?
Yeah. Adin is like, sus. But they're adults. They can make their own decisions. The fact that...
Okay, 25-year-old. Doesn't matter. Men date younger women on average because young women like older men on average.
100%.
They like that because they respect
That's
them,
true.
because they respect the authority.
That's true.
I don't think any of the things I'm saying here are largely contested. I think everyone agrees that women like...
I mean, not only are they largely contested, they are mostly contested. I think.
What is this guy talking about? This guy has not been around the world. Just because you in these westernized countries, yeah, which I am a part of, the Londons, the Englands, the Londons, the Englands, the UK, the USA, you know, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, them type of countries, like westernized countries, like, you know, really liberal-ish. Like, just because that is your worldview, the other parts of the world are different. The parts of the world I come from, where I was raised in Africa, the worldview is more in line with Andrew Tate's. The majority of the world's worldview is more in line with Andrew Tate's worldview. It makes no sense. It's just these new age thinkers, this new progression. And again, you cannot come along and tell people who are living in other countries and having a good life and they've been living their lives for millions of years with their cultures and traditions, and tell them your cultures and traditions are wrong. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. So for him to sit there and say largely contested. Yes, in some parts of the world, but in the majority of the world, they are not contested. So you make no sense, bro. In Quebec, in Canada, largely contested. The rest of the world, no.
I mean, most rational beings, except for the people that are completely delusional or off the tracks, unhinged.
And again, even in Africa, if the lady is working, making money, doing that, whenever she comes home, she still has to take care of the household. She has to take care of the household. That's Africa in a nutshell. You come back home, you still have to cook, clean, give the kids what they need, sort it all out. And the man comes back, and guess what he does? He puts his feet up and rests. Even though they're both working. That's just how it is. There is no 50-50 equal. No, we have different roles and responsibilities, and there always has to be a leader. And in Africa, almost all African countries, it is the man who is the head of the household. China, largely the same. Russia, largely the same. Now you give me the USA and these few other westernized countries that say, oh, you can do whatever you want to do, you know, equal. It's fair enough. But in the majority of the world, the way Andrew Tate thinks is how it is. And for people to come along, people can come along and say, oh no, that's wrong the way they think. The way we think is right. That is putting yourself in the place where you really shouldn't be putting yourself in, where you think you know better than other people, because really you don't.
The problem that you're saying is that you're saying that men, it's impossible for them to be pushed into the right directions or helped like a children from women. The girls can't come in and say, stop doing this, stop doing that. They can't do that to you or any other guys because they're women. What the fuck is that?
They can in the relationships where the man is a pussyo.
That's just so illogical.
Some men need women to guide them.
They do.
That's fine. I'm not one of those men.
Also, now some. Earlier it was all, now it's some.
Oh Lord.
The list now.
This is how you know people are low IQ. Like, I'm sure he's not low IQ, but he's really acting low IQ. Because whenever someone says a majority statement, it's never just, they're never meaning every single person, every single person. Sometimes people take things a little too literally when they should really add some intuition on the back end of it and say, okay, it doesn't really mean all people, he means the majority of people.
We're trying to what's up?
It was overall. I gave a scenario in which many men are mothered by their girlfriends, and I said in said scenario the woman has authority and responsibility, and she can prevent him from going to the club. And then I also said in every single relationship somebody has responsibility and authority. Nothing is 50-50. And then I also said for the same reason I would not allow someone to break into my car no matter how good the locks are. I will not put my woman in a scenario where people are going to try and take her from me because I find it disrespectful and she shouldn't want to be there. That's what I said. That's all the things I said. Now, if you have a relationship in which you want your girl to go out to the club as much as she wants, that's your prerogative. I'm not coming here telling you not to do it. I will tell you it's going to end badly for you.
It will.
You may disagree with me, but it will. If you keep letting your girl to the go...
No, Andrew. You're wrong. She will get fulfillment from the club. She will get fulfillment from the club. She will get everything she needs. The want and need and the desire to shake her booty in front of all these men. Sweaty man. She needs to get that out of her system. She needs that for fulfillment, Andrew. She needs it for fulfillment. She needs to fulfill that urge to get out there in the club and shake her ass. She needs it. With her girls, she needs to do it. Because otherwise, you're fearful.
the club, it's going to end badly. Not just because she's going to get stolen, but because she's not going to respect you as a man. She's
True.
going to say, this man lets me go out and get drunk with other men every fucking night. What kind of dude do I have?
That is your definition of what the respect that she owes you is, not the definition of what that relationships overall. That's how that transaction goes like.
I guarantee you, relationships with boundaries are more successful than relationships without boundaries because people adhere and know what they can do and not do. That way, everyone feels respected. Everyone feels that they are getting what they deserve in the relationship. Again, peace out to the late, great Kevin Samuels. He said, it's a contract. It's a negotiation. You sit at the table and you say, hey, this is what I want. And then the other person says, okay, I hear you, but this is what I want. And if you can meet each other and give each other everything you both want, then you move. That's how Andrew's relationship works. He says, this is what I want from you. And the girl says, this is what I want from you. And he says, cool, we got it. And they move. It's that simple. And for him to sit here and contest this, it's giving low IQ vibes. Beta male vibes.
I think this is, I mean, you're being obtuse. The problem with
Soy boy vibes.
this is that you're being obtuse about it.
This is not triangles, bro. This is not triangles. We're not in trigonometry, bro. Stop it.
Right? Relationship, you have to be, why are you in a relationship in the first place? Why are you with a girl, right? Because you want to, because you want to be fulfilled. You want to have a relationship and you want to feel like you're in something, right? You're committed. Why do you date? Tell us. Why do you date?
Absolutely. For the same reason everybody dates. For fulfillment.
Okay. So a lot of points, let's say like a polygon, a lot of things make you fulfilled, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of it makes it a nice polygon, right?
Correct.
Right. So in my opinion, this is what the foundation of what the relationship is. For me to be fully fulfilled, I want the person I'm with, my partner, to that one a prerequisite is that they're fulfilled in all these ways. It needs to match. For me to match, it's almost like a.
I don't know why it's so hard for this man to understand this, but the women Andrew dates and associates with, they don't get fulfillment from being in the club without him, and or want to go there anyway. This is not restrictions of things they really want to do. They understand, hey, I've got the top G. I can give up the club. I don't really care for the club anyway. It's just a bunch of sweaty dudes trying to get me, and I've got the top guy. It is what it is.
If she's fulfilled, I'm fulfilled, and we are together.
Yeah, then good for you.
Right? Yep. And what you're saying is that what fulfills a person, they have to sacrifice and lose out on some of these points for you to feel fulfilled. How does that make any sense whatsoever? That is completely and utterly.
Unless she works in the club, she ain't losing out on any. What is she really losing out on? Just rubbing up against sweaty people and shaking ass?
Illogical, because they have to make compromises and sacrifices that overall will lack fulfillment and will make you.
You have to make compromises or sacrifices for everything you do in life, bro. You think this guy did not have to make compromises and sacrifices to keep streaming Twitch? What? To miss some family event because he had a stream he had to do and hit numbers and all this other stuff? Come on now, let's not play these games.
You feel less fulfilled, and you will end up with a raw loss overall in this exchange.
No, if my boundaries are accepted, I feel respected, and the relationship continues. If her boundaries are respected, then she moves. She keeps in the relationship and she moves. And if I say, these are my boundaries and this is what I'm willing to do and tolerate, and this is what I'm going to do in this relationship, take it or leave it, and she takes it, then she takes it.
I'm going to let y'all finish this conversation, but I just want to say I got to dip.
Deuces.
Got to flight cash. I'm going to let y'all. Appreciate you, S.
Later, brother.
Lows.
See you, man. Take it, man.
Loss is like, just what is going on here? My guy is just.
I understand your argument. Your argument is that if the woman has to make compromises to be with me, she's not completely fulfilled, which will stop me being completely fulfilled.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Yeah. I like that you're listening a lot. I like that. Thank you.
You make compromises to be with her. You don't fuck other women. You do that.
That is not a... Okay. When you talk about the framework of a good, stable community...
Okay. Let me just ask this question, xQc. If you watch porn xQc, guess what? You're fucking up. Because you dream of doing it. You dream of doing it. You just can't do it. You dream of doing it. You dream of doing it. But you just can't do it. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. Because fulfillment. You get the fulfillment from this girl, obviously. So why do you need porn? Oh, why do you need to see milky titties, bro? You don't.
in a relationship, okay, fucking other girls is not a compromise. It's pre-intended.
But fapping is a compromise.
They're going to the club with a bunch of dudes is pre-intended. You set. If you're going to sit here and say that I don't want her to have to change a single thing about her life because of
it's weird.
Then you shouldn't have to change anything about your life.
Agreed.
Agreed.
That would be the perspective, as if I feel like I'm losing something by her going to the club, as if I don't. Why? Because she doesn't get anything out of going to the club.
This man is unraveling. He's unraveling. If by your own admission, you don't need to set parameters, then when you go in a relationship, it's a free for all. You can do what you want. She can do what she wants. There's no parameters. There's no restrictions because you can get fulfillment from other things. If you one day feel like I need to have sex with another girl, you can do that. If not, then you're restricting. You don't get as fulfilled, and she is restricting your fulfillment. And then she's not happy. So you need to go out there, xQc, and bag some bitches, because then you will be satisfied and she will feel satisfied because you're satisfied.
Those ways that takes away from my relationships because I'm number one. You can't replace me. They see me. They see me as the perfect fit. They love me.
They can replace.
So I don't lose anything.
Anybody can always be replaced. This is fallacy. Anybody can be replaced.
By them going to see number 2s and 3s and 50s and 100s, they have the best at home. I don't lose shit. You intend that when your girls go to the club, you're scared that they're gonna lose something. The other people around at the club are better than you because you, Andrew, you're not number 1 in their heart. You're number 3, and they might get number 2 over there or number 1, and you're scared of that. Why are you scared of that? I don't get that. It makes no sense at all.
We've already discussed the fear argument.
You know what? I need to see Adept's video on this, on how she reacts to this, because from her reaction, I can tell whether this guy's cucked or not, and I guess I'm gonna check that out after this. Just a bit, like portions of it.
We've already discussed about the fact that no matter how good the locks are, I wouldn't put it in a high crime area. We've already discussed this. I understand you're trying to use the fact that trying to paint me as insecure and fearful.
No.
That's incorrect.
Like I said, use not argument to answer me. I want you to dissect my argument. Sorry to cutting you off. You're good at letting me cut you off. Okay? I want you to dissect what I said.
And he does cut off Andrew a lot. And this is the thing I've noticed in this. Like, what he does a lot is when Andrew is describing a scenario, he will cut Andrew off before Andrew finishes, add his little extra stuff, and then Andrew will continue with said scenario, and X will be like, oh, now you're adding parameters, Like, look, pancake lover, you cut me off. But Andrew doesn't even say this because he doesn't really care that much. He doesn't even say this, but you cut him off before he even finished what he was saying, interjected a lot of word vomit, and then as he's about to continue what he says, you say, oh no, you're adding more parameters. No, idiot, you just cut me off before I finished.
Right at the beginning or in the middle, I want you to just counter argue it. What I'm saying is that I don't make a sacrifice in that relationship by, I want to fuck other girls. Bro, I want to fuck that one girl. I don't lose out on like other girls.
If he watches porn, he's lying to himself. He is massively lying to himself, and he's trying to cope. He is really, really trying to cope, because as soon as you start watching porn in a relationship, you have failed. You know your intrinsic male nature has come out, and you would even though you say, oh no, porn is the only way I can make it through it without, bro. He's what this titty lover guy. He's watching porn. I guarantee you. He's on that Gianna Michaels. If you know, you know.
I don't want these girls. I want that one. She's my number 1. I'm number 1. I don't lose out and make a compromise that, oh no, I can't fuck other girls that I like less and love less.
No, you just fap. You would just fap because you can't execute in real life because you're too scared to do it. You don't want to do it.
Otherwise, I would date these girls or that girl. I'm not losing on that potential. The same way she doesn't lose on your. Does that make sense?
Holy.
Not really, but let me blow your mind. Let's change.
No.
Let me blow your mind. If your woman was truly fulfilled by you and she truly loved you,
I feel for X, man. He was not ready for this. Yeah, she wouldn't.
Have to argue with
she wouldn't.
About going to
she really wouldn't.
Okay.
So true, bro.
It's the truth.
Then she's not allowed to go to the bowling alley then.
They will come.
They'll
come to me and say, "Can I go to the club with all my friends?" And say, "Not without me." She'll say, "Okay, baby," and that's it. It's really not an argument. It's not hard because she's fulfilled.
You see, this is the facial expressions from xQc is just how you know this man is a carpet. He's made to be walked all over. He's made to be walked all over because he does not have the spine to say what he wants from a relationship. To say, hey, I want X, I don't want X. He just says, oh, you know what? Let's just not cheat on each other. I'll take that. That's it. Everything else is free game. You can do whatever you want. And even cheating, if the girl cheats on him, you won't say nothing. Because it's like, oh, as long as you go fulfilled, babe. Nah, I'm joking. You probably break up with her. But you know, it's a bit much.
If she didn't respect me and she wasn't fulfilled in other ways, then of course she'd argue. Then that club would become important. But to her...
Then can you... Okay, I understand. Then can she go to laser tag?
Sure, she can go laser tag. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, Lord.
But it's not that. It's about the scenario.
What if she sees an absolute lion Chad way more than at the club?
Lion Chad.
Tough, muscular guy that looks better than you and is more into like, then what?
Good. Then fine.
Then you park your Lambo in the hood and your Lambo it's getting taken.
You see how it mischaracterizes the analogy? The club is a volatile situation where everyone's trying to fuck everyone. People go there, especially men, to try and fuck and try and find a girl to fuck and or to have sex with or to get a girl to be in a relationship with or something around that area that is revolving around sex and relationships. That's why people go to the club. Having fun, you know, a small percentage maybe, but really you can have fun at home with the same music, bumping it up, get a disco ball, you're living it up, it's okay. But to sit there and mischaracterize the analogy and say, oh, now putting the girl in laser tag is putting them in the Lambo in the hood. No. The Lambo in the hood is a girl in the club. The girl in laser tag is the Lambo in a nice neighborhood. There's still a small chance that the Lambo could still get, or people can try and break in, but the chance is less. Same with the girl in the laser tag. The chances of a girl getting approached and a guy trying to really get it on with a girl in laser tag is minuscule. So for this guy to come along and say, oh, but laser tag, it's fucking in the hood. Stop the cap, bro. He's really coping. He's trying to cope. This is the biggest cope I have seen.
Now you say good? So the club is parked there.
It's like he doesn't really understand the analogy. And he really doesn't understand clubs. And he really doesn't understand what people do at laser tag. Or maybe that's what he does at laser tag. I don't know. This guy is lost. He just seems a bit confused on basic social things that social people do. But I don't blame him. He's a Twitch streamer. He's in his house 24/7, 365. Obviously, that's an exaggeration. But he's in his house the majority of the time, streaming from home.
Laser tag parking is good. How?
Incorrect. Because laser tag is not invented for people to fuck. The only reason clubs even exist. The only reason clubs even exist, and I'll tell you why.
Exactly.
The basic mechanics of clubs. I know a little bit about it because I own a couple. The basic mechanics of clubs is that you fill them with girls. Girls have no money. Men come, spend ridiculous amounts of money on alcohol, which is massively overpriced to try and attract females. If you get a club with no females in it, no men even go. The whole point of a nightclub is to fuck. So I will not send my woman who is with me to the fucking ground.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite things when he said, I will not send my girl to the fucking grounds. No, you should not.
Walmart. But she ain't going to go to a place which is specifically designed and set up for her to get intoxicated and famoosed. And not because I think she will get famoosed, because she is respectful for me.
He understands. Finally, Jesus.
To go to a scenario in which she would be seen. Even, listen, bro, you may disagree with me.
Let it simmer.
Well, like I said, you're...
X, calm down. Let it simmer. Let it digest. You know, let it digest within the soul for a little bit.
It's false on its face because, I mean, my
woman, How?
She obeys me, right?
Again, sign language, guilt, shame, the need to be right. This guy, he's just feminine behavior, bro. Mine. Feminine.
She has friends and feels fulfilled at doing social activities.
He has no real control of his emotions, and that is a mark of a weak man because he has no mental fortitude, no filter between his mind and his mouth. The fact that he can't even contain himself and be like, look, let me structure my thoughts before I even say something. He just says shit because it comes on his mind. What is that? That is literally being an animal. And he claims he's enlightened to the point of the what? It's crazy, bro. This man claims he knows what it should be, and yet can't control his emotions. And animals don't control their emotions because they act upon what they feel, and he acts upon what he feels. So he's closer to an animal. Like, you know, X,
And her
please.
friends all wanted to go to the club.
Please,
It's some girl's birthday, and yes, she's single. That one is vulnerable. It's a vulnerable prey. Okay, that girl. Okay.
I love the way he elongates the words at the end. Vulnerable prey.
But they're all going to the club together.
Nah, it's funny though. It's funny. It's
My
funny,
girl
dude.
can't tag along. No, she can't. She cannot partake. She cannot partake in social activities that make her feel fulfilled socially. She can't. She can't because that club is designed for people to fuck, right? So she can't go in there or close to it, right? Dude, so many more places are designed to fuck, and more people get fucked out of them. So what is that?
More people get fucked out of them. Please, I beg, someone give me a list of places not designed to fuck where more people get fucked out of them than people get fucked in the club. I beg someone tell me a place. I know people say, oh, the office, people fuck in the office. Yeah, obviously people fuck in the office, but come on now.
How does that make sense?
It's your prerogative what you want to do inside of your own relationship. I'm only explaining.
It's not a prerogative. I want you to explain that.
It is a prerogative. What you do and what he does is different. He sets his relationship in a way where he wants it to be a certain way. You want your relationship to be free for the woman to do whatever she wants to do. That's you. And then you get the women who want to be free and do whatever they want to do.
Sure, I will explain. Again,
He will get the women who want to be in the relationship with him where they don't, where they follow his rules. Simple.
no problem. If
It's by
first thing
choice,
you gave-
not by
now you just gave
force.
a very particular scenario. So right
No,
now you're.
that's
now
important because if you say all, then it has to be all the specifics.
Oh,
Say
my
my girl
gosh.
All
doesn't-
means
When I say my girl doesn't go clubbing, I mean she doesn't go clubbing, right? So it means she does not go out all the weekend. She ain't partying anytime she wants. She doesn't go clubbing. Let's imagine there's a particular birthday for a girl, and this girl is a girl I know, and I think she's a pretty good influence, and she's not a bad girl, and they all want to go to the club, and I drop her off and I pick her up. Then that is a scenario in which it possibly could happen once a
then
year.
why do you say all then? If you agree on a scenario, then why do you say all? See, this is something that you always do.
Oh my gosh.
When you're vocal about your mindset, that irritates me a little bit.
For
Not
effect.
personally, but just overall
XQC.
hearing that, is that when you
Use
say
some brain
all,
cells. It's for
right,
effect.
And you're very, very hard about that when you're alone
It's
on camera,
for
right?
effect.
You don't get interviewed
Use
or can't
some
argue.
brain
It's not-
cells,
it's
my
a
guy.
monologue, not a dialogue. You say
Because-
all. I'm such a lion. All. But when you come here and we talk about it, you say, but this scenario, but that.
It's more impactful if he says, oh, it is more impactful, yet we understand what he means. He doesn't mean every single one. Come on now. Don't. You're being obtuse. Ha! I used the word.
Doesn't make sense, bro.
Because there are scenarios. Obviously, there are scenarios. Exceptions don't disprove rules. When I say my woman doesn't go clubbing, I mean she does not on the
He's
weekends
being
go clubbing. She does not
acute-minded.
message me, I'm at the club tonight. See you tomorrow. She does not do that. You're giving me a very particular set of scenarios. Maybe once
Yeah.
if her friend had a birthday.
Exceptions of the rule.
Maybe, yeah, perhaps. What we're talking about is different things. And I'm telling you why. You're trying to disprove me using exceptions in very, very unique scenarios. I'm sitting here saying people are born with two eyes.
And who does that? Feminine people do that. Usually women, but in this case, he is very feminine. And I'm thinking he's on the verge of transitioning. His hair is almost long enough, so he might as well just take the final step.
And you're saying, no, some people are born with one eye. Yeah, that's true. But in general, when you say someone, how many eyes does someone have? You say two. Now, if someone asks me how many eyes does someone have, and I say two, and you're to run along and go, I know someone with one eye. That does not make me fucking wrong. So you're just trying to use exceptions to disprove rules, and it doesn't work that way.
Damn, he's good.
Any woman
bro.
who's with me, by and law, in general, if you were to ask her, does she go?
Bro, he is struggling. I can see it in his soul. Look at his face, bro. He's trying to find some way out, bro. He is a rat trapped.
By and law,
Look at his facial expressions. Look at the body language. He has to breathe out because he doesn't know what the hell to do.
Clubs without Andrew. Now, are there very particular scenarios in which perhaps if a movie premiere and she's A-list and she has to go to a club for 15 minutes with security and I pick her up? Yeah, sure. That's not the point we're fucking making. Any woman who's with me doesn't go to the club. And the most important point of all of this is she doesn't want to. I don't have to stop her.
Okay.
She won't go.
I'm not. This is an understatement, but understatements.
He understands.
You could literally win bike races backwards with how fucking hard you're backpedaling. It's insane.
this guy is really not listening and paying attention. Really not.
The way that you revert your main arguments and go down them and start disintegrating them. The way I've never seen that before, man. I know how
He's
can
not
you
a
justify
geek.
this.
What?
You say never go clubbing, and then there's exceptions. There are exceptions that actually happen.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have done science, I've done scientific studies, and even in scientific studies, there is always a few outliers. But we don't look at the outliers. When we put those theorems and theories to test and we get the data and the results, we obviously report that there were this percentage of outliers, but there is a point of which the outliers are irrelevant. There is a point at which the outliers are irrelevant. Okay, if the accuracy is to 95% and above, you move. You consider it true if it's 95% and above. So if 95% of the time Andrew Tate's girls do not go out, but 5% of the time they do, in scientific terms, you would state as they do not go out to the club. And you can state the outliers there that, in these certain occasions they would go out. But those are outliers. You do not take them when making the statement. You do not take them into account when making the general statement. If you were to read an abstract of a study, it would state they do not go out. But if you were to go in to the discussion of the scientific paper format, it would state that if they do not go out, but there is a 0.5% chance that they do go out. Well, there's a 5% chance that they do go out. If you have done a scientific study and you know exactly what I'm talking about, put a thumbs up in the chat and like the video. If you know what I'm talking about. In scientific paper format, what you usually do is you have your abstract where you explain briefly, abruptly what the experiment is, what it does, what has happened, the results you have found. And in the discussion, you elaborate on it, explaining in greater detail. So what Tate does is he gives you the abstract, essentially the blurb of a book. And when you question him on his beliefs in greater detail in the form of a debate, he has to elaborate on these things. That's natural. That's what scientists do anyway. That's what to sit there and pretend this is not done. Bro, this guy's an idiot. He's an idiot. Point blank. Like, I like him, he's funny, but he's an idiot. We have to point out the basics. He's an idiot.
That we went out clubbing, it was for a reason. It had a reason behind it. It had something behind it, right? That wasn't, I'm going to go out to see some other options and start fucking. Right? There's so many ways and reasons why people go to the club.
bro.
It's a social gathering. There's a lot of people.
He's rapping.
It's fun. It's energetic. End of story.
It's fun, energetic. Yes, if the girl is not having fun at home with you, it's fun and energetic. If she's not having fun with you, it's fun and energetic, bro. What the fuck?
Sure. Well, if I had to make a binary decision, if I were to come along and say that no exceptions all are allowed, either she's allowed to go to the club whenever she wants and go to all those birthdays, or never go to the club and miss all those birthdays, and she would never go to the club and she would never go to a single fucking birthday and she would not complain. My women do not want to go to the club without me. This is being discussed as if I have to stop them. It's just, these are the parameters for being with me. You don't go to the club without me. Got it. Cool. Done.
Done. Simple. Finished. Jeez. I feel like I lost a few brain cells.
Meet Google Pixel 6a.
Come on now. Let me pause that. I feel like I lost a few brain cells listening to the xQc, man. He needs to really slow down his thought process and really assess what the other person is saying. Really listen to understand and not just to respond. Because a lot of what he was saying was just to respond, and he felt like he couldn't give ground to Andrew because his worldview fundamentally does not align with his. So he felt like if he gives ground on any point, he feels like he would be conceding to Andrew and his worldview. And again, like, you have to give ground where ground is, you have to give credit where credit's due. That's the most genuine thing you can do. He's being very disingenuous in some of the questions he was asking. Some of the points and lines he was going into, saying that, oh, the girl goes to play laser tag and she meets a Giga Chad. Like, bro, and that's parking your Lambo in the hood. Like, just taking everything out of context. This guy really, it just shows a lack of awareness, a lack of attention, and a lack of professionalism. He wasn't really paying attention. Next time, xQc, get a fucking notepad. I'm done. Peace.